Hello everyone, in this video we are going to talk about the very first chapter, that is the living world. Now when we talk about living organisms or living things, we generally say that living organisms have a property known as life in them. So we will start our chapter by talking about what exactly is this life, right? Now life is a unique, complex organization of different molecules which express themselves through various chemical reaction inside the body of a living organism for undergoing its growth, its development, its responsiveness to the environment, its adaptation to different situations, and the reproduction of that particular living organism. So this is a brief introduction of what life is, and life is a property which is found in all the living organisms. With this we come to a question that what exactly is living, right? Now let us look at this diagram. This is a figure of a tree, and this is a figure of the products which are formed from this tree. That is, this is paper, there is pencil, and there is a wooden table. We say that this tree is living, and these substances we say that they are non-living. That means there has to be certain specific characteristics which are seen only by this tree, and those specific characteristics are not seen by these objects. That is the reason we call them as non-living objects or non-living things. So let's look at what are these specific characteristics which are present in generally all living organisms. Now the characteristics like growth, we know that living organisms, they grow, they increase in size, they increase in number. Second, living organisms, they undergo reproduction. That means they form their progeny, a similar young one. Living organisms, they undergo metabolism, that is specific chemical reactions which take place in their body. Living organisms, they have cellular organization. That means the living organisms are made up of cells which are also known as the basic structural functional unit of life, and the living organisms, they show consciousness. So these are some of the major characteristics of living organisms. But we have to see that out of all these characteristics, which all are the defining characteristics of living organism. Now what is a defining characteristic? A defining characteristic means it is a characteristic, it is a property which is present in living organisms, and this property would not be shown in non-living objects. That means this property is shown only in the case of living organisms, and this property would not be present in non-living things. So out of all of these characteristics, let's see which all are the defining characteristics of living organisms. So we'll see the very first characteristic, that is growth. We say that all living organisms grow. But what exactly is growth? What exactly is growth? What do we mean by growth? Growth is increase in the mass as well as increase in the number of cells which take place inside the organism. That means the organism is formed from a single cell. It is going to divide and form two cells. Then again divide, form 4 cells, likewise 8, 16 and so on. So this is known as increase in the number of cells. Now these cells, the individual cells which have increased their number, those particular cells will also increase in their size. They can also increase in their size due to accumulation of protoplasm in them. So we generally say that growth involves two things. Growth involves two features. One, increase in mass, and the second, increase in the number. These are considered as the twin characteristics of growth. These are known as the twin characteristics of growth. Now this growth, the pattern of the growth, the rate of growth is different in different organisms. That means it is not same in all the organisms. For example, in case of plants, the growth, it takes place continuously throughout the life. We see that plants, they grow continuously. Whereas in the case of animals, the growth is limited. That means it takes place only up to a certain age, and after that an animal does not grow. However, in animals, the cell division occurs in certain tissues in which injury has taken place or in which some amount of repair has to be done. In those cases, the growth in the form of cell division and increase in cell mass takes place. So we can say that increase in mass and increase in number are the twin characteristics of growth. So this is all about growth. But then we again come to a question, that is growth our defining property, which we spoke about earlier. Let's see, is growth our defining property? Do non-living things grow? Yes, non-living things also grow. Non-living things grow by accumulation of substances over them. This type of a growth is known as an extrinsic growth. The growth which takes place over the surface by accumulation of some substances. For example, suppose this is a mountain. This is a mountain and there is accumulation of substances over it. As a result, the size of the mountain increases. So we can say that mountain grows. That means the non-living things, they undergo growth. But again, the growth in non-living organisms is extrinsic, whereas the growth in the case of living organisms is intrinsic. That means the growth in living organism, it takes place from within. It takes place from inside the body, right? So can we say that growth in general is a defining property? Remember, for being a defining property, an organism, a living organism should only show this property. No non-living object should show this property. But now we just saw that growth is present in living organisms as well as in non-living organisms. The difference lies that the growth in the case of non-living organisms is extrinsic and the growth in the case of living organisms is intrinsic. So growth in general cannot be called as the defining property of living organisms. And if we break the growth into extrinsic and extrinsic, then we can say that intrinsic growth, that is the growth which takes place from inside, the extrinsic growth will be the defining property of living organisms.